All right, we are now recording. I'm going to do a brief welcome to anyone who is joining our website to watch this talk after this is recorded today. And we certainly welcome all to join us at the center normally. This of course, we are enjoying this online to make sure that everyone is safe and that we're not all traveling on the roads during this time when the roads are quite treacherous, and we know later on today they'll probably even be more so with the storm and so on that's going on. We're grateful that we're able to do this process.
Rev G, I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Yes.
We're still hearing a lot of sound. If anyone is on the phone, I think it's *6 is muting.
And George, you can also mute us from your end as the.
Yes, I can. I'm going to go.
So just mute us all.
I'll just mute all. Not sure if it works for the phone, but all right.
Yeah. So if you're on the phone, that's good. Do *6, and that'll mute you if you're on the phone.
Or if you're on a smartphone, you can just press the little mute button on your phone. All right. So I'd like to begin. I am Rev G. Stewart, and this, of course, is Rev Ed Tansey, and we are the founders and spiritual leaders of this amazing community known as Center for Spiritual Living Greater Boston. We're grateful to be online with you today. We do normally meet at 50 Dudley Street in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Today, the center is closed, and we are doing this here for the safety of everyone. And so I'd like to begin with speaking about what the CSL theme for 2019 is, and that is spirituality in action. The January theme is learn and embody the science of mind principles. I also like to say it's going back to basics, the basics that we are learning and the basics that we are working with every day. And then today's talk is what does. So I'd like to begin with the quote of the month. So give me a moment while I share my screen. And the quote of the month is, "The practice of the science of mind calls for a positive understanding of the truth, a willingness to let this inner spirit guide us with the conscious knowledge that the law of the Lord is perfect." And that has been the quote that we have been sharing all this month. So we started with the thing itself earlier on this month, and we moved on to, and so can anyone tell me what the thing itself is? Well, we know that for us, it is the divine presence. It is the infinite intelligence. It is the one mind or the God presence. Then we move on to the way it works. That was what we did last week, and the way it works is that it works through us, as us, and that is how the universe expresses itself. The thing itself works for us by working through us. Today, we are now looking at what it does. I would like to offer two things to you that may help us to understand what it does. What does the infinite presence do? I will begin by having Xi show you a story. Now, Xi is my mime character that I have done much work with in the past, and I have a special video presentation that I will show to let you see what Xi goes through as he understands what it does for us. I will then explain that story and allow us to know more about what it does. So before I begin my story, of silent movement. I want you to consider this quote from Ernest Holmes. The originating power descends into the consciousness which meditates upon it and receives it. The intellect abandons itself to the divine ideal. It is a feeling, a sense, an atmosphere. We do not have to energize this power, for it is the very essence of all energy. It is its nature to manifest our word. It will always remain true to its nature. We do not have to wonder whether it will work or is working. It has to work. And that's from Ernest Holmes. And that comes from his book, Know Yourself, which was compiled in 1970. So now I'd like to go ahead and begin the video for you to watch of Xi going through his spiritual unfoldment. So bear with me just a moment here.
Okay. Can't see anything, black screen.
Really?
Okay.
It appears that we have an issue here technically, so bear with me just a moment here while I get us into where we want to be. All right, so we are going to begin that video again. And for those of you on the phone, that video is actually on my Facebook page, and I will also put it onto the Facebook page for the center later.
Okay. Ask if they can see.
No, they can see it. This is what's showing on the screen.
Rev G, there's no video.
You still don't have a video?
No video, just a black screen. Everyone is letting us know.
Oh, okay.
Sandra.
Okay. All right. So we're having an issue showing the video on this sharing. So let me go back to bear with me just a moment here. I apologize for the issues.
Oh, there it is.
Do you see it?
Is it on now?
No.
No.
All right. So bear with me just a moment here. I'm trying to get this to work.
We are seeing we're seeing a file screen with maybe this is Dropbox, I'm not sure. Clipboard, we're seeing a red,
Like the squares and stuff?
yes,
Yeah. So all you're seeing is the squares. Okay.
yes.
Oops, stop share. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to try again here. Let's see if we can get it to work.
Keep us informed.
And
You will.
how about that? Do you see the video, or do you see a little man?
We
striped
see a
shirt?
man with a very French shirt on.
Yeah, that is right.
Thank you for your patience, everyone.
Thank you for your
Okay
patience.
now.
Now, click
We
it
will
on.
now begin the video.
And if something happens, let us know. You see that?
Yeah, we're stretching. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. Thank you.
Perfect. Good morning. Mhm. All right. We thank G for giving us a story. So did you notice one of the things, well, thank you. I see the applause. So one of the things in the story here, you notice that as Xi is wandering through his day, which some of us do naturally, right? We just start the day without thinking, without just moving into the day, without thinking or doing our spiritual practices, that he runs upon and he hurts his foot on a large piece of rope. And he does this tug of war. Tug of war, as we know in most of life, has winners and losers, and we're always struggling against something. So, when he does the tug of war, it just doesn't work. It isn't something that can actually work for us, although we feel like it's true, right? How many of us have spent days when we thought, oh yes, I can control it, right? Absolutely. So Ernest Holmes tells us we cannot fight the universe. It refuses to budge from its course. We can only go with it. And I normally would have slides for this, but I'm just avoiding the slides at this point because it's just a little too much flipping about on the screen. So Ernest Holmes tells us that in The Science of Mind, and I think it's an important thing to realize. I want to say that one more time, just so we really hear it. We cannot fight the universe. How many of us have discovered that in our lives, right? Yeah, I've done that many a times. It refuses to budge from its course. We can only go with it. And going with it means that sometimes we have to surrender. And you noticed how, as Xi was going through his whole process, that he pulled on the rope and then the rope was connected to a wall. So he had ran into a wall, and I run into many walls in my life. I don't know about you. But it's the realization, that as we're moving through life, we have to move within first. So you would notice that as he was wandering and as he got frustrated with the wall, he finally kind of gave into it, but then he discovered that there was a book. Of course, in my mind, that would be The Science of Mind. And of course, he opened the book and he found what he needed in the book. And then he sat and he prayed and he meditated. Because when we pray, we speak to God. When we meditate, we listen to God. That's how we listen, is we quiet our minds and we pay attention. So this is kind of like our spiritual boot camp, or the challenges that we face in life. In these challenges, we learn to do our spiritual practices so we can go with it rather than struggle through it. So what happened is when Xi stopped to do his spiritual practice, he found the key that unlocked the door of the universe. So for those of you who weren't really clear on what Xi was doing after he had prayed and meditated, is that he found chalk in his pocket, and he was able to draw a doorway and a doorknob. And he still struggled with that a little bit. But then he realized that in his other pocket was the key to this door that opened and unlocked him into the divine presence, or into the heaven within that we all can experience when we move within and do that work. So he was able to step into heaven and feel and know that this perfect energy is always working for our best. So what it does, the thing itself, or the God, or the divine, or whatever we wish to call it, is that it works for us when we surrender into it. And that's a powerful realization. Now, Ernest Holmes says it this way: when we have arrived at the ultimate, that is the ultimate. It is the way the thing works. When we arrive at the ultimate, that is the ultimate. It is the way the thing works. Namaste from my part of the talk. And so Rev Ed will now step in.
Yeah, would you? Good morning again. So what it does, it eliminates the unwanted elements from life and produces ever increasing good. It changes life dramatically and drastically. And it gives us a scientific method to do so. I love that. It gives us that scientific method to do so. It aids and it adds life to every experience. It adds zest to every experience. It gives a reason and a purpose for living. It provides us with inner assurance, authority, strength, and confidence for this wonderful journey that we call life. It gets rid of or eliminates anything that is not in alignment with the good of itself. Some of the things it eliminates is frustration, guilt, fears, selfishness, hatred, greed, and then it puts one at peace with the God of one's understanding, with our fellow man, and of course, and most importantly, with ourselves. You know, we know that when one is at peace with themselves, this is when they experience peace in their outer world. Remember, all that is seen in the outer world starts from within one's consciousness. When we're feeling loved, feeling peace-filled, feeling prosperous, feeling opulent, feeling happy, feeling strong and content, it's having this in and as our consciousness and our inner experience, what we experience in our life, in the outer world that manifests, that we see and experience, comes from these feelings, these thoughts and beliefs. The good and the positive that we experience within. So, see, bringing our consciousness in alignment with the divine, we eliminate anything that is not like the good of the divine. We eliminate poverty. We eliminate unhappiness. We eliminate hatred. We eliminate fear. All that I've just mentioned, we eliminate that. So the problems that we see in life are like the dark side of the moon. And the only thing the dark side of the moon needs is what? Light. The light of truth. The truth of God that is within us and that which each and every one of us are. And when we come from that truth, we dissolve those appearances, which are the opposite of this truth, into the nothingness from which they came. The more and more we realize that our inner light, which is the light of the divine, and let it shine and fully express that light, the more we can experience all of the miracles, magic, joy, and magnificence of each and every day. So you see, when there's the day that one might be experiencing, let's say, sadness or sorrow, that shining inner light dissolves those appearances into the nothingness. And that light brings us to the awareness of our at-one-ment with the divine and with life. That's what it does, people. That's exactly what it does. So, how does one get oneself in alignment with the divine? And as we know as religious scientists, it is through our spiritual practices, as Rev G mentioned earlier, which are our prayers, our treatments, our affirmations, our meditations, our visioning, our journaling, our walks in nature, sitting at the beach, listening to the waves, whatever resonates with you, being in the silence. By using what I call our Science of Mind toolbox, gets us into alignment to the correct thinking, to the truth, so that we can receive the infinite intelligence into our own life experiences. You know, each and every one of us has the power to experience great success in every aspect of their lives, to the degree that we're able to receive it. That's the key. To the degree that we're able to receive it. And one of the ways that we can become more receptive to all of the good of the divine is being in alignment with the truth of the divine, which is the truth of ourselves. So I've decided to make myself a God app. See, now I'm becoming more technologically advanced just by saying the word app. App. Now, isn't that a wonderful place? I say, yeah, for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download my God app into my iPhone so that at any time that I want to strengthen my spiritual muscle and get myself more rooted in my alignment with God, I'm going to hit that app and bam, I'm connected. I'm conscious. I'm connected. My consciousness is heightened and my spiritual muscle becomes stronger and stronger. So you see, what I'm doing is downloading my God app into my operating system, into my computer, into my mind. There are now 2 places that this God app is available so that I may always have the opportunity to stay in alignment with the divine, spiritual truth, and my spiritual practices. Now, not only do we have these spiritual practices available to us, and why? So that the divine can manifest in our own experience. And I think Rev G mentioned this earlier. We have to be ready to receive it. I'm going to say that again. We have to be ready to receive it. So if we had a belief, let's say that we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, or we're not worthy, then with that consciousness, the divine intelligence cannot express itself in, through, and as us. And this is so not because it is not ready. The divine intelligence, people, is always able and willing. It's because our receiving dock is closed to receiving. Our being receptive, our receptivity is like a huge loading station where we place an order of our desires of what we want. Then the next step is that the law, the creative medium, fills our order. It gives us what we want. The universe gives us what we want and fills up a huge cargo crate with our desires, ready for us to have. But the receiving dock is closed because we believe we can't have it because of our limiting beliefs that we were entertaining. So I feel it behooves us to know and to keep our receiving dock open 24/7. And I quote, hopefully it'll go on the screen, from Mahatma Gandhi. Nope, that's not it. Nope. Hold on one moment. Here is the quote. That we succeed when what we think and what we say and what we do are all lined up. I'm going to repeat that. We succeed when what we think and what we say and what we do are all lined up. So remember, we are bathed, we are saturated and steeped into this formless substance, and this substance is just waiting to be formed into our life experiences, into our wonderful, successful lives. So I'm going to call this substance Jello, universal Jello. Now, as we know, Jello needs a mold to form. So the mold I'm going to put this Jello in is the mold of my thoughts and my beliefs. Now, before we really knew about the power of our thoughts and beliefs in being the form, the mold for the magnificent life that we can have, or the opposite of this, I know that many of us, and I did this myself for so many years, would waffle back and forth between all of the fears, hopes, faith, and doubt that we were entertaining ourselves with. And it's because of this waffling, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, the mold doesn't give the Jell-O a chance of setting up, of forming. This waffling mind, the untrained mind, what it really does, it cuts off or diminishes the power we have to create the good, our good in our lives. And as we become more and more familiar with thoughts and the workings about them, that our thoughts are things and thoughts are creative, and starts to train our mind thoughts, that's when each of us become the creative, powerful, manifesting spiritual beings that we're here to be, living a successful life as individualized, unique expressions of the divine. Now let's remember that the trained mind is always more powerful than the untrained mind. This mind, when focused on its desires, will be the mold for the Jell-O, the mold of the desires that you want to manifest in your outer world. So from the notes of Dr. Fred Voigt of Mile High Church of years past, this slide I'd like to share with you. Hopefully. Yes. One of the principles of successful living is that our thoughts and actions must tend toward a constructive purpose if it is to eventually succeed. We cannot fight the universe and win. It refuses to budge off course. We're the ones who must change and conform to the universe. We're the ones who must change and conform to the universe. So I'd like to share this quick story with you. One night, a ship was sailing toward the light of a vessel in the distance. So the ship's captain asked the radio technician to radio ahead and tell them to change their course. The reply back was no. You must change your course. Well, the captain really got angered at that, and he had the message sent as a reply as follows. I am a captain in the U.S. Navy, and you must change your course. And this is the answer that came back. No, you must change your course. I'm a lighthouse. So the universe is the lighthouse in our lives. If we don't like the way the course of our life is going, I would say it would benefit each of us to look at the lighthouse, look at the truth, understand more of the divine, and realize that we need to change what we are thinking, what we are saying, and what we are doing for the purpose of us enjoying a new course that is one of joy, abundance, magic, peace, success, and opulence. Namaste. So now, as Rev G is technologically doing some stuff that I have no idea what he's doing. Bear with us.
Well, thank you, Rev Ed. And I would ask Martine if you would bring us into prayer, spiritual mind treatment, which is our form of affirmative prayer to close the talk.
Coming into this moment, centering into the presence that is never an absence. The purpose of this treatment is for everyone present in this beloved community to know that he or she now has the key to the abundant life. God is all power. God is infinite good. God is exquisite beauty. God is all love. God is the magnificent law of mind. God is omnipresent, omniscient, and omnipotent. God is infinite, opulent wealth. God is the peace that passes all human understanding. God is the endless creation of the cosmos. God is life itself. And I am one with this presence, one with this power, one with this all good, one with the thing itself. Beauty, vitality, vigor, peace, harmony, life, love, opulence, success, wisdom, and knowledge. And as I am one with this one that forever is, I know that each one here, each one present, each one listening is one with this one, the thing itself, back of everything, the all in all. And the words that I speak are true for each one listening, each one present. We now have the key. We now have the key to claim the magnificent life. I now claim the magnificent life for each one here. Doors open. We succeed. We no longer fight the universe. We surrender. And as we surrender, we align with the power within. All frustrations, doubt, fear, and worry are released and are now instantaneously replaced with masterful thinking. Fear is replaced with faith. Doubt is replaced with confidence. Uncertainty is replaced with inner assurance. Strength, love, prosperity, happiness, wealth, and opulence are the truth of who we are. We align with this one power. We go within. We release anything that would hinder the fulfillment of the magnificent life, of the abundant life. We are worthy. We are deserving. We stand in our inner authority, and only good comes to pass. The golden key of powerful, conscious thinking, action, speaking is the truth of who we are. We use the tools in our toolbox. We apply the principles and the teachings of the science of mind. We know how it works. We claim it. We do it. We are it. And I give thanks. I give thanks for the open doors. I give thanks that every life is uplifted, is up-leveled to a higher way of being. I give thanks for the manifestations of wholeness, well-being, peace, prosperity, alignment, mastery that manifest right here and right now for each one here, each one listening. What a celebration. Oh, what gratitude I have for the truth that sets each and every one of us free. I release this word. I release this word of love, this word of power into the law of mind, into the law of life, knowing that it returns fulfilled for each one, and that it is done for the highest good of all. And so it is.
And so it is.
So it is. Thank you.
Thank you,
So
Mike.
it is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Martine. So this is the time Rev Ed would be welcoming our guests, but I think we all know each other,
But
so
we
I
do have a
think,
new guest.
well, we have a new guest.
Well, see.
Well, she's been with us.
Yeah, she's with us. Okay. Yeah. So there's no new guests, so we welcome all that are here this morning. So glad that you could make it and share our first time having a Zoom service. So thank you all.
Yes.
So you're all our guests on Zoom.
Now is the time when we will move into our sacred circulation. And of course, if we are spiritually fed by this community, we welcome those donations, which of course are tax deductible and which can be made at cslboston.org, where some people were able to connect with us. So let's take a moment as we move into the consciousness of sacred circulation. So as we join together to give where we are spiritually fed, the hope is that this is one of your primary places to be spiritually fed. Sacred circulation is seeding our future of abundance, prosperity, and blessings. As I give, so shall I receive. This is planting our future good using the reciprocal nature of the universe. If you are comfortable, you can close your eyes and simply take these words in. Knowing God is my source, I give my gift to the universe. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
So it is.
All right. And so, Martine, if you will move into our announcements, we would love that.
Once again, good morning, beloved community. The announcements for January 20th, 2019. We welcome your prayer requests, and you can go to our website and put them in there. And at the center, when we are at the center, please bring a card, fill out a card in the foyer, and our prayer corps will pray over your request for the rest of the week. We are so grateful for our volunteers who help make our Sundays a magical experience. There are sign-up sheets at the center for various volunteer opportunities. Our vision will be postponed until the first Sunday of February.
The second Sunday.
Second Sunday. And it will be an opportunity to be included in the unfolding new mission and vision for our center. The new spiritual breakthrough group will start tomorrow, Monday, January 21st, 2019, from 8 p.m. on Zoom. There is a 9-person limit. Please contact the Revs if you would like to sign up.
There is still room. There is still room. So you
Wonderful.
can contact us and Rev G can put you on the list. Yes.
Excellent. The Revs will be offering the Beyond Limits class at the center starting Thursday evening, February 28th through May 2nd. It runs from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30. Penny Shaw, our wonderful practitioner, will be offering the Essential Ernest Holmes class on Thursdays beginning January 31st, ending on April 11th online. This class is open to all. And I am complete.
You are complete. Thank you. Thank you. So I would just ask for you to go ahead and benedict us out. And this will complete our service. We're so grateful that everyone was able to join us.
I am so grateful. I am so grateful for Spirit's expression as this wonderful service today, January 20th, 2019. I am so grateful for our spiritual leaders, Reverend Ed and Rev G. I am so grateful for their masterful yes, their masterful guidance. So grateful for Ernest Holmes and the philosophy of the science of mind. So grateful for this wonderful technology that allows us to be connected to one another. A true expression of the oneness of the one mind. And I bless each and every one here. I bless this time together. I bless the message. I bless the doors that are opening for each and every one. I bless and am so grateful for the alignment, for the deeper understanding of how it works, and for the use of these principles in our lives right here and right now. And I ask everyone to join me in ending this benediction by saying, and so it is.
I'm bummed I lost everything. I'm not happy. I completely lost out of the meeting. I had to cut in through Facebook.
Oh, goodness. Well, we will be, this is
It's
recorded, so
can see
you will
it's
be able to
recorded.
watch it later on the website, or it will also pop it into Facebook. Okay?
And one thing before we leave as a spiritual family, I'd like to say, let's keep in mind that tomorrow is a very important day. It's the celebration of Martin Luther King. Isn't that tomorrow, I believe?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
And
And Ernest Holmes.
Imagine Ernest Holmes, Martin Luther King, and our own Maxine Bernard, they're sharing birthdays. So let's remember.
Yay.
I want to grow up and be Ernest.